Joining us now is Chris Farrell, the Director of Investigations and Research for Judicial Watch, with a look at the impact of their many Freedom of Information Act requests. For people that don't know about your organization, what do you guys do?
We're a watchdog organization. We try to get government records and documents to educate the public about the operations of government. So we try to expose what's going on. We go after corruption. We go after corrupt politicians. And so we're making records and documents available to the public so they know what's going on. And then we hold corrupt politicians accountable through litigation.
And so some of the means you do that, obviously, through FOIA, Freedom of Information Act request. And you guys do more than most, right?
We do. So the Freedom of Information Act is the open records law. It lets the public get records and documents. You know, I use an expression. I said, people lie, records don't. Right. So when you have the documentation, the government records, politicians will talk in circles and you may not always get the truth, but the records are something you can really count on. And so it's documentation that allows the public to have some kind of accountability. That's what we go for. And we do investigative work. We try to uncover instances where there's corrupt officials who are abusing their authority or their power. Those are things that the American public, they're owed answers for. We've been around for almost 30 years, and I've been there for 25 of those years.
And so when it becomes time or comes time to make a request, where do you get your ideas from?
Yeah, that's great. I mean, so sometimes we're chasing headlines. Sometimes we see a news article and we're interested in what's going on. So we want to find out the backstory, stuff. How did we get here? How did this occur? Other times, and this is what's really kind of fun, is we try to be a little predictive. We try to look over the horizon to determine what's going to be important, what's going to be newsworthy in 6 months or in a year. And that's a little more creative. That takes a little more, I guess, hit or miss luck on some topics. But we just try to be an accountability watchdog for the public. And, we're equal opportunity offenders, right? We're not partisan. We've gone after and sued Republicans and Democrats alike. The Democrats have a tendency to give us more targets, more opportunities, because they're big government, big spending, big central authority. That's their philosophy. So where there's more money on the table, where there's more government projects and programs, there's going to be more corruption. Unfortunately, that's the pattern.
Can you give us an example or two of your success stories?
Sure. The reason that you know about Hillary Clinton's email server is Judicial Watch. That started out actually as a FOIA request about Benghazi, of all things. We had looked into the terrorist attack in Benghazi, what had happened there. We did a lot of open records requests with all the agencies you might imagine. And it turns out that there was one person who was conspicuously absent in all their email communications about what was going on. And that person was Hillary Clinton. And the State Department came to us very sheepishly after we had sued them and they had sworn to a federal court. They gave us everything. They came back and said, well, actually, there's one person who we don't have records on, and that was Hillary Clinton. And she had her own illegal private server that she was sending all her communications across unsecured. 22 top secret, sensitive compartmented information emails among hundreds of others that were also classified. And in large part, that email server scandal for Hillary Clinton really tanked her presidential run.
How did she not end up in legal trouble?
Well, that's just it. That's sort of the Washington, D.C. double standard. It just so happens if your name is Clinton, you get a pass.
To find out more about what Judicial Watch is working on, log on to judicialwatch.org.